MK, and I am back with another No Fuss clustering layout for you guys. We have created a couple clusters in our class a couple days ago, and now I am just going to share with the world how I'm going to add these to the layout. So I've got a couple sprinklings of circular hearts, and then a few pre-made clusters for you guys. I'm just sharing with you guys the clusters that we have created. And then for this particular layout, I have well, I don't know what to call it. It's an unusual page, but again, it came in that SEI album that had all of these unique page protectors and elements added to it. It definitely gave that feel of a mini album where you have all the little flips and the flaps and the things like that. So I've got four photos for my page that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to do this double page right here inside the inside of my flap, and then I'm also going to do the outside pocket of this awkward random page. And because I have the page going back into my album, I'm going to use these hole reinforcers by Heidi Swap. They're just the little glittered, gold glittered reinforcers that I think will go with this collection because it's fall. So I have the leftover bit of my brown solid paper, and then I'm going to add this green paper that is from the collection into this layout. And then look at this plaid. Oh my stars, it just says pumpkin. I know, I'm so weird, but I'm definitely going to be using all of this paper. There won't be any left for me to save or share with other layouts. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut it down by 6 inches. And of course they're not the same because this cutter doesn't work that way. And then I'm going to use the rest of my brown paper. And then for my photos, I'm going to chop up this green paper and use it as my photo mats. Simple, simple. Now I forgot to turn off my light. I apologize. So that awful streak is going to definitely be throughout this video. I apologize. Then I'm going to trim down my photos, and I am just trying to see if I want to remember the house that we are in. So where my daughter is sitting, it is actually in our dining room, on the dining room floor, and we laid out this messy mat that she's had since she was 2 years old. And every time we wanted to paint or make a mess, we always spread out this mat. And so it was perfect for carving out pumpkins. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to cut out is, do I want to remember the kitchen floor or the dining room floor of this old house that we, used to live in? I have other photos of this same exact house, and so I'm not too worried about needing it. And so that's how I figured out what to cut out of the photos. All right, I'm going to mat them all on this beautiful green. I love this color green, you guys, seriously. And for the center of this particular page, I don't even know what to call it, seriously. But for the center of this particular page, I'm going to create a band going across, nice simple band that will allow me to trim off both sides, and then be able to also save that crease in the center. So when you are folding something in half, you don't want to add bulk to the center of the fold. I learned this in my mini album making days. Whoa, say that 10 times fast. But you don't want to add any bulk into that center piece because then it starts to bulge, and you definitely don't want to do that. So I decided to go ahead and meet my 2 pages in the middle. So that way I am able to, trim off the edges of both sides, and then I'll bring those onto the front pocket. So yeah, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I am a-okay with not everything meeting in the middle because there's going to be so much going on with the photos and the embellishments and things like that, I'm not too worried about somebody noticing that my papers don't really line up exactly. If they do, stop looking. Please, stop looking. All right, one of the things I do love when I do tear papers is having that white edge, at least on one side, and then it looks like, like it was actually ripped off, like ripped out of a page or something like that. So I do enjoy that. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 photos down on my centerpiece of this layout. And now it's just a matter of deciding how I want my elements to go. I have a small, medium, and large-ish embellishment for these. Now I did have 4 clusters, and the 4th cluster is actually going to go on the front pocket as almost like a title page, as opposed to being a title to the layout, because I'm technically doing 2 layouts for you guys today, or 3 if you count a double pager. I don't know how this works. My brain hurts. But it will be when it's closed. That will be almost like a title page. And then this one here, I love how it's got all the fall words going on. And then, of course, right underneath my daughter's photo is where I will put my journaling strips when I get around to actually doing that. So, and then I feel like these clusters over on the left are missing something. So I'm going to take my scraps from the photo mats and just create some banner pieces. Every time I feel like something is missing, I just add paper. I add something to it. So now I have a little orange spot where I can add, Cora did something, and that's where she got her pumpkin inspiration from, or we learned a new trick, and that's where, or we got some new pumpkin tools. I mean, something. I can add something to this layout, and I'm adding this upper cluster to the dead space in Cora's photo. So that way it looks like it was, purposely put together, so that way it filled up that dead space. So I really like how that is working. And then I'm just trying to see if I need to add an orange banner to the right side of the page, and nope, I don't. I'm not going to. It'll be fine because I actually have an orange banner in the cluster. So I don't really need to add another orange banner because there's already one there. So yeah, that's my excuse for not adding one, not needing one. I make stuff up as I go along all the time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finalize where everything is at now that I like how everything is placed or how everything looks. Now, I am not going to add any splatter to this layout because I don't know if it will soak through the craft paper that these pages are made out of. So I'm not even going to risk it, not even going to chance it. I'm just going to add my sprinkling of the little hearts around each of the little clusters. Like I said, they work really well in filling in the gaps that have been created because you didn't really have anything pre-planned out. I'm going to go ahead and add the whole reinforcers to just this one side. And then to make the pocket stick out a little bit more, I'm going to ink the edges with whatever ink was left on my sponge dauber. And I'm not really sure how I planned on using these 2 pieces. I was just using the other piece to make the brown border strip go across because I didn't use enough adhesive to glue it together. Also, too, I had in my brain that my photo was going to be larger and be able to cover up the gap. It didn't work out, needless to say. So now I'm just trying a few things, seeing if I want to fill in the pockets. No, because the pocket is actually glued on the side, so I won't be able to fill in the entire pocket. I won't be able to, open up that gap and make it look like it finishes all the way across. So that idea blew out the window. And then I came up with this one where I will just use a block behind my photo, and then it gives me a nice little block for my title embellishment. Now, this embellishment also is not put together because the word colorful is so delicate. I wanted to leave it on the carrier sheet until I was actually ready to fully use this embellishment. So, but the way that you see it now is pretty much how it's going to look in its finished form, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. So once I figured out how I want everything to go, I'm going to go ahead and put all of my pieces back together. I'm going to use the word colorful to help me close the gap. I'm also going to use the rest of that orange paper as a banner piece, and I'm going to go ahead and just throw 2 pieces together because why not? I have them laying on the desk, and instead of having scraps left over, I might as well use them all up. I did use my fingers to scuff up the edges of the orange little pieces just to give it a little bit more of a lift. These are very flat layouts, but in all honesty, they are also not going in page protectors. So they're going to be just another extension of my album. And so I didn't really want to have a whole lot of things that are going to get stuck or caught on. So here I am just using my finger to scuff up the edges of these orange little bits. I'm okay with this element actually covering up a portion of the pumpkins because I have a lot of photos of these pumpkins. So I am perfectly okay if some of them do end up getting covered up. So yeah, I thought that how my daughter did these 2 pumpkins at the bottom were very inventive. And so, of course, I had to, share. I had to take lots and lots of pictures because my daughter was really into pumpkin carving this year. And I say this year because she didn't really go back. She was just, into pumpkins this particular year. I don't know why. But that is the layouts for today, showing how I use pre-made clusters on a layout. Pretty quick and easy. It doesn't have to be all elaborate and, definitely not all on one page. As I show you guys here, I love the work of this title going on, Colorful Pumpkin Time, because it was definitely very colorful. And then, of course, just adding them to cover up dead space in a photo or, the embellishment in a little tiny journaling spot. I can put the photo there or just have a cute little embellishment. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. And thanks for stopping in to see how I use pre-made clusters on a layout. All right, I'll check y'all later. Bye.